things to consider when you're driving. Yes, they drive on the opposite side of the road. I'm not saying the wrong side of the road. I'm saying the opposite side of the road. That does take a bit of getting used to. Did you drive when you were over there?
I'll let my wife do most of the driving, actually, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I remember my first experience driving. I just kept thinking, okay, it's the other side of the road, other side of the road, other side of the road. And I went on my first roundabout in Scotland and got off going down the wrong direction down a highway. Kelly screamed. I pulled over onto the other side. That was the last time I made that mistake. It was almost the last time I made that mistake. But the things to remember are you're going to be riding on the opposite side of the road. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but if you're easily adaptable to things and adaptable to your environment, it shouldn't take long before you start just doing it kind of automatically. You get in the opposite side of the car. If you're going to drive a stick shift, you do drive stick on the opposite side. I remember I rented a stick shift one time just because I wanted to see how it was. I wanted the experience of driving a stick on the wrong side of the road, the opposite side of the road, opposite side of the car, and then I remember landing in the plane, thinking to myself, oh crap, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or is that backwards
that mirror
too?
Image also, yeah.
Is the gas pedal still on the right, or is and the clutch on the left, or vice versa? So luckily, the gas pedal is still on the right and the clutch is on the left.
Yep.
It's not a mirror image, but you do shift with your left hand. So it took a little bit of getting used to for that, but I figured that out real quick.
Good.
But it was fun just to have a different vehicle experience over there as well.
Yeah, I think there's that. The roads, on the other hand, take more getting used to.
Yes.
Their sense of a highway or a main thoroughfare is not the same as ours.
Here in America, we have
Big
large
America.
cars and large roads. In Scotland, the roads are a lot older, and frankly, they're not that wide. No matter, when you're outside of the main highways, like between Edinburgh and Glasgow kind of thing, when you're driving through forests and through, from one town to another, it's the only road from town A to town B.
Yeah.
However, the roads aren't that much wider than a driveway. Like, 2 cars can kind of pass. I remember there was a couple times where, our mirrors clipped with another car going past, and it's just something that happens.
They're smaller cars too, but
yes. But there's oftentimes you'll actually have a pull-off onto the side of the road will get wider for 50 feet, and if someone's coming at you, you're supposed to pull off, let them go past, and get back onto the road. That's their workaround for narrower roads. It's just, a fact of life. It's kind of what happens. I remember literally laughing, this is a highway when we were over there. But it's what you got. It's what you deal with.
Right. It's true. Now, I don't think this is a thing up north, but down south we ran into hedgerows, where it's basically that scene in Star Wars where you're going down the trench and you're going to fire the torpedoes. It's like that, except it's green. Because there's a hedgerow here, and a little tiny road, and you're just and we came to, a couple of times we'd come to a corner of hedgerows and intersections, and we're trying to peek our nose out to see past a hedgerow, and a lorry comes by, and you're like, and that was the first time I ever got sweared at in the UK. You're blowing it, blah, 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 blah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Happy motoring.
Yeah, that's something I'll say that's off-putting as well, is from the driving aspect. Driving on the right side of the car and having traffic whizzing past you this direction.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That takes more getting used to, or took more getting used to me than driving on the opposite side of the road. It was the flashes past my head.
And the other drivers. The orientation of the other drivers.
Yeah. Another thing as far as driving goes, roundabouts. They love their roundabouts. So you'll often find, instead of a regular stop sign intersection or traffic light intersection, a roundabout in the middle of nowhere, basically just go reasonably slow and stay to the right. You don't want to go crazy, around the roundabout. If you get to the center, you could find it more difficult to get back to the outside. So, good luck.
I think one of the things that worked for us was our first driving. We made sure we went through some side streets in town. very slow, just around residential areas, small roundabouts, and basically use that as our little kindergarten of driving before we went out and hit the main roads
Your
to
test
go anywhere.
track.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, just give yourself a chance to get used to the vehicle and get used to the environment. Once you are used to it, though, the advantages open up dramatically. One of the really most popular things to do right now, tourist-wise, is to hit what's it called? The North Coast 500, which is basically it's a 516-mile. Let me say it again: 516 elocution mile coastal road that goes all up around the northern portion of Scotland. It's slow going at parts, but the landscapes change very dramatically. You get to see the ocean, you get to see the rock formations and everything, and it's easy to hop off it to different destinations up along the coast. Extremely popular thing to do nowadays, and that to me dovetails perfectly with the whole book a bed ahead thing too. Decide just you're gonna aim for doing this section of the road at this day, and then stop around this town for the night, and then keep going the next day. You can really, really get into the landscape that way. So that's the driving has its advantages. Yeah. Absolutely has its advantages.
Speaking of landscape, is kind of dovetails. Mm-hmm. The one thing that struck me when we were over there as well is the stark, effectively, boundary between the city and the country in certain areas, like outside Stirling and things like that. It was like city, and then it just stopped, and then it was fields. There wasn't like the suburbs where there was just, houses with some more land. It was, a very stark difference between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna affect how you structure your experience.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
Yeah.